There was a stilted pause, then a gasp. December's end! The linen slipped from Mama's work-worn hands into her lap. Any day now? But I thought he wasn't coming till spring. Aye, any day, Papa growled, turning to take his daughters in. He lingered longest on Elspeth, Eden noticed, and with good reason. But her great roundness was buried beneath her sewing, and she didn't so much as lift an eyebrow at Papa's stern scrutiny. Any day now, Elspeth's child would be born. But which would come first, the apprentice or the babe? This was what worried her father, Eden knew. He had plans for her wayward sister that couldn't be breached by the early arrival of the stranger. You both know what this man's coming means? He thundered across the small parlor. The stern words made Eden's insides curl. She looked up, waiting for Elspeth to do the same, but her sister was simply ignoring her father, as she was prone to do when she disliked his dictums. Elspeth Ann! She finally snapped to attention, light and shadow playing across her lovely face, and met her father's eyes. You both know what this means, you and Eden? Yes, Papa, Elspeth murmured dutifully. Eden's needle stilled, and she simply nodded, grieved, barely detecting the telling sympathy in Mama's eyes at their predicament. The plan is this, he went on. If the apprentice comes before the babe, the jig is up and he's to wed Eden. If he comes after the babe is born, he's yours, Elspeth. You know how things stand with an apprentice? Mama nodded, her wistful expression revealing she knew of such matters firsthand. Years before, Papa was apprenticed to her father, a master gunsmith, and she'd been part and parcel of the contract. Though rumored that she loved another, tradition held sway. 'Twas a time-honored practice that apprentices marry into their master's family, as if some ironclad rule passed down from King George himself. Though times were changing, and the war had been won, Papa was holding on to the past with both fists. Studying his craggy face in the low glare of lamplight as he pondered the letter, Eden bit her lip. She suspected Papa's scheming had less to do with marrying them off than tying the man down for more mercenary purposes, though every eligible suitor in the entire county trooped into their blacksmith shop to beg, barter, or pay coin for the ironwork turned out. None had yet passed muster, or could abide the thought of her father as father-in-law. How like Papa to forge a liaison with a complete stranger, one who knew nothing of their affairs. Oh, if she could but protest! Warm words festered on her tongue and raced round her head as she returned to her mending. In all fairness, Father, this stranger you speak of is hardly a youth. He's at the tail end of his apprenticeship, and shouldn't be coerced into keeping such a tradition. Besides, there's such a thing as love. But she couldn't be contrary. Her father's word was as unyielding as the metal he worked. Once, when she was 5, she had spoken up, sassed him when she should have stayed silent, and had borne a welt on her backside for a fortnight or better. Any backtalk had since been confined to her head. What's the man's name, Liege? Mama asked, hands idle atop her lap. Ballantyne, he replied, perusing the accompanying package. Silas Ballantyne. Eden drank in every syllable, thinking it strong, solid, memorable. The last apprentice had been one George White, bland and utterly forgettable. Papa had disliked him from the first, and nigh starved him, liberally applying the lash. He'd been but a boy. But this tradesman, from the sounds of it,